I'ma just go and keep it 100% real with you. Sometimes you gonna wake up in the morning and you might be locked up and you being incarcerated and you gonna be up the road and they gonna get the holler yard calls early. That's what the summer do for them. It brings you yard call twice a day. And in the mornings you gonna get up and you might go walk on the yard and you gonna be walking around that fence with the barbed wires wrapped around both all the way through. You gonna get to looking up and you gonna see the birds start flying. You gonna hear the birds start singing. And it's gonna bring back memories. And the memories they bring back is the memories that you not realize you might not see for 20, 30, 40 years because you locked up. The only memories you're gonna have is the memories of you having fun on the street. But see, now you're gonna be seeing that shit walking around that yard. And it's gonna make you feel kind of bad and sad. And I ain't saying give up, but I'm just saying, God damn it, you had a chance to do right when you did and you didn't. Now here's the part when I say welcome back to East Baton Rouge Parish Prison Stories. Welcome back. I can remember when they used the first time I got up the road and they shipped me up the road and they holler, yard call, yard call. And I wasn't used to that shit from where the fuck I'm from. I really wasn't. Where I was from, they only did yard call maybe once a month. And they really was supposed to be doing it all day, but that's the parish. And the parish prison operate completely different from these other camps, these other places, these other penitentiaries. Real talk, based on true story, can't make this shit up. And I remember me used to walking around that yard, and I had a partner that I used to be walking around with, and we used to be reminiscing. And the shit we was reminiscing about was the shit that, man, what it would be like to be out free. And I thought about it, what I would have been doing. I would have been out in the streets, thugging and loving, riding, doing the same shit over and over and over again. And he was thinking the same shit. But here's the part when I say, your thoughts are not my thoughts. In the good book, that's what the words say. And I used to listen to that shit, and I used to read that shit, and I used to understand it, but I never knew what it meant till I got up there in Callahoola. My thoughts wasn't my thoughts. See, my thoughts was just saying I was free and I'd be able to roam around this motherfucker and not nobody harassing me and messing with me. But you know, people always seem to want to try you. And I used to be like, man, I ain't for this shit. I got to find a way out here. Deputy, I can't live, but I couldn't use that slogan out there because I wasn't locked up in a cage. I was in the dorm. And when you in the dorm right now, you got to go through process to get out that dorm. It ain't just racking on the boards or getting your ass beat. They do that shit as normal out there. So like they say, I couldn't believe that shit. But you really have to be in there to understand it. And I'm just basically giving you an understanding of what it felt like to be in there. See, the reason I couldn't holler deputy, I couldn't live, is not only because it wasn't in bars and shit like that. It was in the dorm. And they had procedures, like I said, they had procedures. And the procedures you had to go through, you had to fill out a form, a request form to be moved. And the warden, the warden had to look at it and they had to sign off on it. But sometimes the wardens don't agree with you in your moving process. You see, I had a name on me, and my name was I couldn't live. And I couldn't live because of many reasons. I couldn't take the ass whoopers. I couldn't take the zoos getting stole from me. I used the phone. I couldn't take niggas reading my mail. I couldn't take that shit. And I checked off a lot of lines. I really checked off a lot of lines. When I say I went to the old prison and I checked out every line it was, I did. It wasn't just 182 fights I lost. That was physically. I'm talking about mentally now. See, mentally, it was every day. 365 days out of the year, multiply that times 7. I went through that shit mentally. But to be transported to another place and that shit follow you, that's a bad feeling, man. Because now you got dudes trying to try you and pick you, and the dudes that heard about you in the parish, they out there floating with you too, but you got other dudes coming from different satellite camps. And I'm telling you, man, you got to know the feeling of motherfuckers want to just fuck with you just because of who you are. I ain't saying I ain't no bad person or nothing like that. Yeah, I'm not. I did a lot of shit in the streets that caused me to be a bad person or whatever, however you want to label it. I did that. But the kicker part was, I never knew that when I got up the road, that shit really completely changed. The doors opened up, the yard called. You got different people coming from different dorms. You know what I'm saying? And I was on a dorm called the Island, J-Dorm. That was the island back then. And the island was separated from the other fucking prison. It's weird how I always got caught up in the place where I wasn't supposed to be, but hey, that was prison. But it's just weird. And everybody else, all the other alphabets was all the way to the front. But I'm to the back to the island. You know what I'm saying? And in the island, you ducked out. And in the island, a lot of shit goes on in the island. In the eye. That's what they call it. I can remember me getting up one morning, early in the morning, getting ready to go to breakfast. They got like eight face boards where you can wash your face, brush your teeth. They got 8 fucking things like where you can sit on the toilet, piss, or shit. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. It's more than what the parish had. And I thought it would be more convenient for me to go through this shit and use the process and get in line and go step. But here the process is out there. But one, you ain't been out there, so you ain't got no name, you ain't got no rep, and that shit carries. And when I say it carries, because when you're doing shit like this, trying to get to the faucet and go to the water and hit the buttons, you gotta wait. And some dudes selfish. And what I'm saying is selfish, they don't give a damn about what you feeling or what you going through that morning. They don't give a damn if you're going to breakfast without brushing your teeth. And that's what I had to do because the doors only stay open for less than a minute. Less than a minute and got like 80 dudes to get out of dorm. It's just weird how some people be selfish and they know you might be hungry and you watching them sleep. And you ain't touching them because that's not part of the game. See, you don't do that type of shit out there. You don't wake your mama and your daddy and your sisters and brother up and tell them breakfast out there because you get a different reaction. And I never knew that shit. One morning I seen a dude up there and he was still sleeping. My first time up there, and I said, thinking I might wake him up because I don't know if he might be hungry. It's breakfast. They hollering child. It was like about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and they started rolling out. They started out back there from the island to Jake. They started doing that there. And on the child, you go walk on the line and you go do the child. But before that process, you got people jumping out the racks and shit like that, brushing their teeth, washing their face and shit like that. But as we was getting ready to walk out the door, I'm going to break. I see the dude laying in 1, 2, 3 in the middle bunk. That's how it was. He was laying in the middle bunk and he was still sleeping and shit like that. So I decided one morning just to go to the dude and wake him up. So me not knowing that when I wake the dude up, it was going to become a physical altercation. I'm like, man, all I'm doing is waking you up to fucking go to breakfast. You don't want to go to breakfast? You don't want to get in to eat? You don't touch me. You don't do this shit. Man, the dude sliding out the rack, getting out the rack, putting on the slippers and shit. Now here the kicker part go. This the kicker part. I'm doing a good deed, and in turn of me doing a good deed, I get a bad deed out this shit. Dude get up and telling me while the door getting ready to shut, the guard shut the door. So me and the dude up in the dorm. So I'm going to knock on the door and shit like that, knocking on the door to let the guard know that I won't go to breakfast too. I was trying to wake up this dude. But as I was doing this, the guard shut the other door. So while he was shutting the other door, the dude already standing up, walking toward, man, you woke me up out my fucking sleep and shit like that for some fucking breakfast and shit like that. What the fuck wrong with who is you? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling them, man, I'm a new guy. I'm coming from the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison. Maybe got word on it, maybe got record. But me not knowing that all these dudes in this fucking dorm is from East Baton Rouge Parish Prison. So this is what I got to go through. Now the dude telling me, man, you down bad for that. You don't even know me. Don't put your hands on me, shit like that. And I'm trying to explain to him my situation and everything. Nah, nigga, put your shoes on. I ain't got no shoes, you know what I'm saying, to put on. And I really don't want to put on no shoes because I ain't about what he talking about. So in the process of that, he turned around and started talking, you were coming to the back. I'm like the fucking God in this fucking thing. He not gonna come help me and save me. He's seeing the dude doing this here and shit like this here, doing this here, shit like this here. So the dude come up to me and the dude just said, fuck it, out of nowhere, just started with his boxers on and a white muscle t-shirt, beady pipe on. And he got a white shirt tied up on his head. Motherfucker turned around and started stealing on me. I said, fuck that, I ain't about that shit. I started tilling back. I didn't know I couldn't fight. And see, that's how I got the name from Pee Wee to Lil Scrappy. Because I had enough of that shit. I ain't saying I didn't get my ass whooped because I got my ass whooped retarded and I got my ass whooped bad. See, that ass whooping there had me calling home, telling my old lady about, baby, I'm sorry for you cheating on me. I forgive you. Like I tell people, it's different kind of ass whoopings you get in there. And some ass whoopings you get in there will make you just say, fuck it. But I never fold. Never once fold. Never ever fold. I never did that shit. I always put up my hands. For me putting up my hands, I'm saying I was fighting, but I might have been fighting to win. I ain't saying nothing. I never hit a lick. I don't know how, but I was putting it up there. But that particular morning, I had the nuts and the balls to actually swing back. But y'all stay tuned to more East Baton Rouge Parish Prison. I say stay tuned. Deputy, I can't live. You gonna get me out this motherfucker?